Hi guys, so in this video we're going to continue on with these kind of tutorials, and what we're going to do in this video is we're going to move on to the third object in the video, and we're actually going to model also the fourth object in the one video. Okay, so we've kind of gone through the basics in the first two videos, and in this video here we're going to practice some new kind of little tools, which is going to be extrude remove. So instead of adding something, we're actually going to remove something from the object. Okay, and we're also going to use how to mirror or mirror some sketches as well. Okay, so it's going to be some new little tricks in this video in these two kind of objects here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is in object tree, we're going to start drawing this guy here now. So once again, I actually have to open up my OnShape. So I'm going to open up my tab, same as always, onshape.com. I'm going to have to log in. Okay, I've already signed in previously because I was just doing this a few minutes ago. Now, the ones that I previously did was in object practice. So I'm going to click in here and I'm going to keep all of these files into one section. So I've done object one, we've done object two. Now we're going to move on to object three. So if I click on the plus down here and create Part Studio, you can see here Part Studio 1 it's saying, but I'm going to rename that, right click on it, rename, left click, and I'm going to call it object 3. Anywhere on the screen to accept. Okay, now we're going to move on a little bit quicker in this video because we're covering two objects. And if I actually look at this object here, okay, we've kind of gone over these mouse buttons now. But if I look at this object, it's actually, you can see here, it's in comparison to this one and this one, okay, where this one was kind of one part, this one was made of two parts, the section here on top. This one, you could actually make, I suppose, a claim that it's made up of one, two, maybe three parts. Probably two parts. Okay, the section down here with a bit removed, and then this section added on top. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to imagine I'm actually going to build it from view B this time. Okay, if the elevation was in the direction of arrow A, okay, obviously I would see this face, this square, this rectangle, this square, then this shape up here. Whereas I'm going to do it from view B this time, where I see this L with this little rectangle on top. But I'm going to imagine, if you look at these sections here, okay, where there's kind of bits removed from the object on this side and this side, I'm going to imagine they're there at the moment. They haven't been removed, okay? And also with this, I'm going to imagine it hasn't been removed. And you'll see what I mean in a second. So I'm going to build this object. It's 75 long at the base, and it's 100 high, okay? And then 25 and 25 up. So I need to know that. So 75 long. And once again, I'm going to build it from view B, which is going to go on the right plane. So back into OnShape. I'm going to this time turn off my front plane and my top plane. It doesn't really matter which plane you build it on, but I'm just, for the sake of this one, I'm going to do it on the right plane because it's the end elevation. It's going to select sketch, and this time I'm going to select the right plane. I can select it here or here. I'll select it here. Notice how sketch 1 has come in. This time I'm going to select right on my viewing cube, so I'm looking straight at it. Okay, over to my line tool, activate my line tool, highlighted blue. Hover over the origin. When you're over the origin, a little blue or a little orange square will come around. Just click, let go, left click and let go. Drag anywhere. Make the rough shape first. Make sure your line is horizontal. Drag up. Make sure it's vertical. Drag out to the left. Click every time. Okay. At this point, okay, I'm nearly there. Let's say I made a mistake at this point and I wanted to undo. I could press my escape tool at the top left. That'll deactivate the tool. Notice how it's not active anymore. I could click on the line if I wanted. Let's say I wanted to delete it. Press delete on your keyboard. Remember the delete button are these guys here. Any one of them. But let's say I wanted to go back then and start again. Select my line tool. Could start here now. Click, drag down, click. And what I want to do is I want to make sure it maps onto the home or the origin and click. There's my shape. Need to start adding dimensions now. Click on the dimension. Okay, now, very important, we started on the origin. If you didn't start in the origin, you would actually have to dimension from this line to the origin. Okay, notice how all the lines are blue except for these two. First one I'm going to mention is this one. Click, drag down, click. 75, enter. Click, drag out, click. 100, enter. Okay, make sure that's roughly on our screen there. Now I want the height of this line to be 25. Click, drag out, 25, enter. Now I do not need to dimension the height of this line Because I've given this line a height of 100 and this one 25, the computer has calculated that this line will already be 75. Watch, if I click on it and drag out, it should say 75. There you go. Press escape to undo. There we go. Back up. Now, because I press escape, my dimension tool is inactive. I have to press this again. Click on it. This line here, I want it to be 25. Click, drag down. Doesn't matter where I do dimension, inside or outside. 25. Enter. Now the sketch is fully defined. Okay. This time, I'm going to extrude it out. Go back, check my width that I'm extruding from. So the overall width of the object is actually going to be, sorry, in the direction of arrow A, because that's where I'm going to be extruding. I'm going to go 100, okay? So I'm going to change this over here, so extrude. I want to come out here, yeah, that's absolutely fine. And I want that to be, instead of 25, 100, enter, and accept. Now, at this point, I'm actually going to turn off my right plane or hide it. I just want the object. Okay, so there's my object. And if you actually look at the object here, what I have to do now is I have to remove a section here and I have to remove a section up here and over here. Okay, the first one we're going to do is this one down here on this surface. So best way to do that is I need to sketch on that surface a rectangle. So like we did in a previous video where we sketched on this surface or this surface to create this section on top of it, I'm going to do the exact same. So if I go into object tree, what I want to do is I want to sketch on this surface. So I'm going to select sketch, select the surface I want to draw on, sketch. There we go. You can see a sketch 2 has come in. Notice how sketch 2 is populated in over here on my design tree. Now, when I'm sketching, I usually like to draw exactly as I'm looking down on top of it. You can draw in 3D as well, and I'm going to do it. So look, I could look straight down on top, and I'll be drawing a rectangle there. But just to show you, I can draw in 3D as well. Now, I'm going to use a rectangle, not a line, a rectangle, because the shape is actually a rectangle that is cut out of it. So, come over here to my rectangle tool, corner rectangle, select it. I want to start on the line. So notice how we're in 3D now. Click, let go, and I can drag a rectangle out. I only want it roughly in there at the moment. When I'm happy with its position, click. There is my rectangle. Now, with that rectangle, I want to dimension it. Go to my dimension. I want to select the distance from this line to this line. Click, drag over here, click. I want that distance to be 25. Likewise with this side, and zoom out, click on the line, click on the line. Very important you get the correct line. Once again, 25. And then I also want the height between this line and this line. You could select this line, drag out, and zoom in there. I want that to be 25. And there we go. Notice how, if I zoom around, you can see it there. There's the rectangle that I want to get rid of. Okay? So, once again, we're going to go to extrude. Now watch this. I go up here to my extrude icon. Just in case you ever left your sketch, actually, I'll show you this. Let's say you click on the green arrow. Okay, notice how the sketch has gone grey. Once again, if you wanted to get back into it, double left click on sketch 2, and that will reactivate the sketch. Okay, so I want to usually I like to stay active in the sketch. Now, this time, once again, sorry, we're going to go to extrude. We're not going to add on material or press new material. We're not going to do either of them, new or add. This time we actually want to remove. So it's extrude cut or extrude remove. If you're doing SolidWorks, it's called an extrude cut. So extrude remove, select remove. Okay, now at this moment in time, it's telling me my blind condition is 25 and that's perfect. Now I'm just going to go into kind of a better view there. Notice how the arrow. See, I could actually do it where I bring it down and it looks like a little step. I could drag the arrow the whole way down through it, absolutely fine. Usually what I would advise you to do is just say extrude remove and then just say through all. And that'll actually go through the whole object as far as we want to go, okay? Otherwise, sometimes you might want to set a depth to it, okay? So I have a green arrow here to accept that. There we go. So that's a new little trick we're after learning there. Instead of adding material, we're after removing material. Now, the next one we're going to do is we have to remove two sections up here and up here. Okay, so these two little sections here. So first of all, you need to know the lengths of those. So it's 25 long and it's down 50. You can see the 50 here and the 25 here. And it's the same at the opposite side. Okay, so there's a couple of ways I could do this. I could select this surface, which is probably the easiest one. And I could draw, okay, a square there, right in the corner, and a square here, and I could extrude remove them as well. Okay, I'm going to do it both ways. It's going to be quite helpful actually. So I'm going to select this surface, and I'm going to select sketch, showing you that you can select the surface first and then sketch. Now I'm actually drawing on the top surface there. Notice the plane that's come in. So I'll look down on top of it. Okay, so I've got the top surface there. Once again, I'm going to select a rectangle, corner rectangle, draw. There's my rectangle. Come over to the other side and draw another rectangle. Once again, I have to add dimensions to those. So I just need to dimension this line. I want that to be 25. And this line, I also want it to be 25. Notice how two squares, kind of a 3D view there, two squares there are both exactly square, and I only had to dimension one side. Now, once again, we go to extrude. Instead of adding, I want to remove, and the depth I need to remove to, blind, 50 millimeters, enter. There we go. There's our object built. Okay, that is probably the easiest way to do it. Okay, that's probably the easiest way. Another way I could have done it was, okay, I'm just going to roll back there. I could have done a sketch and selected this face to sketch on. Okay, that face. And what I'll do now, just really quickly, is not going to keep this. I got a square or a rectangle there. I could have done a rectangle there, and then I could have obviously applied dimensions to those and cut them out going in the opposite direction. Now I don't want that sketch, okay? So I'm just going to leave it this way. I was happy with that originally, okay? Sketch 4, don't want to restore that, press X there. That's absolutely fine. So now what I'm going to do once again is apply color to the faces. So I'm going to select this face, this face, this face, and this face. I'm going to right click, add appearance to 4 faces. Yeah, I'm going to use red. Happy with that. Now I'm going to select this face and this face. When I'm looking at it from the end elevation, I'm going to go over to green once again. And now I'm going to add this face, this face, this face, and this face. Add appearance to 4 faces. I'm going to go with a light blue. Happy with that. So there's my object. Okay. And you can see there, obviously, if I look from the top, that's what I see. If I look at it from the right, I'll see the green with a line cutting across there, showing you the split. And if I look at it from the front, that's my object there. So that is object 3 done. Now, really quickly, we're going to go to object 4. So plus, create part studio. I'm going to right click here and rename. I'm going to call it object 4. Okay, now what I want to do is in object 4, I'm going to come in here. First of all, we always kind of have to plan out how we are going to add on or build the object. Now in this one, I'm going to practice a little bit kind of what I did previously, okay? There's probably an easier way to do this than the way I'm going to do it in this video, but just for good practice, okay? We're going to start off by building a block on the front plane, okay? That is 100 long and 75 high. We're not going to build the steps at the start, which is probably the best way to do it. But the reason I want to do it is because I want to cut away on this one, okay? So we're going to start off by creating a block that's 100 long and 75 high. Probably not the best practice to do it this way, but it's good for practice in regards to we're going to remove material, okay? So I'm going to start off by turning off my top and turning off my right. I'm going to select the front plane and select sketch, showing you that there's other ways you can do it. You don't have to select sketch first and then front, vice versa is fine. Now, I'm going to come over here to my line tool. I'll actually start with my rectangle tool, apologies, and select this guy on the origin and draw the box. Now I need to apply a dimension to that. Now I know that line there is meant to be 100. Enter. Click on the line, drag out, click, that's meant to be 75. Enter. Okay, there's the box. I'm going to have to bring it into kind of a 3D view. Now what I want to do is I want to extrude that. And as far as I know, I think it's extruded. I'll just check. Yeah, just 50 to start off with. Just 50 because I just want this section. So I change blind and 50. Happy with that. Green arrow. Okay, accept. Front plane, I'll now hide that. There's my block. Now what I want to do is, using the kind of tools that we have learned, I'm going to select this face to sketch on and select sketch. Okay, I want to look straight at that face now. So I'm looking straight at it. Just zoom out so I get into camera. Now, what I want to do is, if I go back here, I want to actually create this kind of, you can see the section that's missing here. It's like an L. I want to create that L on the actual face. So, to create that, I need to use my line tool. I'm in a sketch. Okay, if I ever leave the sketch, look, you can just, by accident, let's say that was gone, you can see it's gone here. Just select the face, select sketch again. Okay, line tool, select the line. Now, starting on the corner, click, drag over to roughly where you think it is, click, drag down, click, 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 click on the line, bring it home. Always finish at home. Don't assume when you're here you're done. Bring it back to here. There's our sketch. You can see it there. Okay. Once again, we need to dimension that. So, dimension tool. This line I need it to be 75. This line is 25. This line here, notice how it's gone smaller here. That's okay. This line I think is 50. And then this distance here is 25. Okay, I didn't dimension this one. Watch, if I dimension this, you can see it's already 25. When I click again, this should be gray because I did not need it. Okay, because this one was 25 and this line was 50. The computer knew this one was 25. So I'll actually click on that and delete. Now, there's my sketch in 3D. What do I want to do? I don't want to add, I want to remove. So that's why I built it this way. Now, there was a quicker way. This is a two-step way. We could have done it all in one step, which makes more sense. But just to show you the remove again. So extrude, I'm not adding, I want to remove. And instead of blind, okay, or I could grab the arrow and just pull it like that, I want to go, click on the conditions and say true all. Now I'm happy with that, except the green arrow. So there we are. Now we've done it in two steps, extrude 1 and extrude 2. This was an extrude obviously add, this was an extrude remove. Now what we want to do is we want to get back here and just add on this little step here that's added on. It's just 50 long and it comes out 25. So a couple of ways we could do it, but the easiest way probably is just to select this face and select sketch. Okay, so I'm looking at the front of it now. Once again, I'm going to go to a rectangle, starting right on the corner, click, and there we go. Once again, there's my object. I want to dimension that now. I want this line to be 25. I want this line to be, I think it's 50. There we go. Now, there's the sketch. I went into 3D view. Anytime I'm actually extruding something, I usually go into the kind of isometric view it's known as. You can select it there by selecting isometric. But I'm going up here to my extrude. Now I'm not removing. Watch, if I removed, notice how it's after cutting into it. Don't want to remove this time. I want to add. Okay. Merge with all, usually if you want it to be part of the original object. Okay. And if I didn't do that, you'll actually see something else happen down here. But I won't explain that in this video. I want to merge with all. Okay. Now I want that to come out 25 millimeters. That's fine. Accept it with the green arrow. There we go. Okay, there's the object. Once again, looking in the direction of arrow A, I'll add a little bit of color. So I'm going to select this face and this face, right click on it, add appearance to two faces. I'm going to go to red for the elevation and click on this face, this face, this face, and this face. Add appearance to 4. I'm going to go to green and then this face, this face, this face, and this face. Add appearance to 4 faces. This time I'll go with a bit of like, I don't know, something close to a yellow. Maybe an orange, not too bad. There we go. There's the object done. So when I look at it from the left side, I see all the green faces. When I look at it from the front elevation, I see all the red. When I look at it from the bird's eye view, I see all the kind of yellowy orange. Okay, so that's the 4 videos complete there, or sorry, the 4 objects complete. Object 1, Object 2, Object 3, and Object 4. In that, you've learned about extruding, okay, adding and removing. We've also learned in our sketching how to do sketch with a line, sketch with a rectangle, and dimension it. Okay, really important. And we've learned some various other tricks as well about how to activate and deactivate sketches and delete material or delete mistakes as well. Okay, so if you got the 4 of those done, Good practice now will be to go and find other objects in your graphics book and try and build those block figures before I move on to something more complex. Okay, hope you found that helpful, guys.